Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Mentor VFX. Every model has a beginning series class number 2. In our today's lesson, we will model our logo plate, our sphere joint, and should be our metal cube. So what are you waiting for? Let's get started.
From imagination to reality, from learning to mastery, one step forward, one creation at a time. Mentor VFX.
So we are inside Houdini over here, and let's just open our file. I like to say you're gonna know that in our first lesson I saved my file in our hard drive. So over here our Houdini models and this one over here inside our geo. So in our first lesson you know that we model our keychain body, our tube sport and our tube sport joints, and like I told you right now we will model our logo plate. So let's start modeling over here. So like I told you before, if you remember, in our first lesson I will say that we will model our logo plate from our keychain body. How? Let me show you. So if I go over here on this poly extrude node where we cut our geometry, we will, if I go over here, you're gonna see what it is. It is just our cutted part. Okay. So let me show you. You're gonna see we will cut our geometry from this one. And what I am trying to do over here is just I will just grab a wire over here. But before that, let's just do one thing like this. So it will be easy for us, and press the P key for adding our parameter tab window. Okay. So over here, I will just grab this wire from our poly extrude node, spacebar H in our viewport. Okay, and over here I will add another poly extrude node. Why? You will understand it in a second. Okay, but before that, let's just say we want to add a group node over here. Type group. Okay, shift plus enter, and before naming this group, let's just add a transform node over here. Why I add a transform node? Because you're gonna see that our logo plate is just going in the negative z direction, and we want to align it with our some sort of keychain body. So how? Let's just go over here on this transform node, and you're gonna see on the z axis there is an expression. Let's just copy this expression and paste it in the z direction over here. Paste relative references and it should be fine for now. Okay, let's just see what's happening. Okay, we don't remove this 0, so let's just remove this, and you're gonna see right now it's working perfectly fine. And why I actually add this poly extrude node and group node over here, let's just do one thing. From this poly extrude node, let's just say I want to add a reverse node over here, so it will be easy for us to work with. And let's just turn on our topology. It should be fine. Okay, let's just go over here, or maybe turn on this template display flag over here. Okay, so let's just say here I would say our logo plate front. Okay, logo plate front primitive, PRIMIPIVE. Okay, so it should be fine. I would just copy this name and press the enter key, and we will work with our primitives right now. And what I do over here, I will just select my first primitive over here like this, and the second one also. Okay, and I press the enter key over here. So you're gonna see it should our two primitives, front and back primitives, has been selected. And on this poly extrude node, What I want to do actually is just I want to insert this one. Okay, how? Let me show you over here. Maybe in the z direction, negative direction like this. So you're gonna see it's not working. Why it's not working? Let's just say I want to delete this poly extrude node, and before this I want to reverse our normals and just add a transform node. And right now what I want to do is just add a poly extrude node over here. I think I should did a mistake before because we don't select our logo plate front primitive group. Okay, so that's why it's not working before there. So let's just do this in a second to align our nodes, and I will just turn on this group logo plate front primitive over here. It should be fine, and I will just insert it like this, some sort of 0.1 value. Let's just see, or maybe 0.05, or maybe 0.025. I think this will work for us. Maybe 225 will work also. Yeah, these things are work for us. And why I will just use this insert value, because I want this circle you're gonna see is extrude a bit. Okay, I want to extrude this circle some sort of like this, not like this, but we want a flat edge over here. So this is why we use this method. We will actually insert our logo plate. So over here what I need to do, I will add another group node over here. Why I will add another group node, you're gonna uh, understand it in a second. I would say our front primitive. Okay, let's just rename this one to primitives. Okay, so over here, and I would say VES, and over here let's say this one. Okay, it should be fine, don't worry. And here I would like to say I would select this one. Okay, and just here I will create another group. I would say group, shift plus enter, and over here I will copy this name, control C, control V over here, and I would like to say our back primitive. Okay, this one is our back primitive, and enter. And let's just hide this one if this first one works properly. Okay, or maybe let's just turn on this one. Okay, let's just do one thing. I will actually add a node called let's just select the back one and press that. Okay, here I will add a node, our poly extrude node over here. From our tab menu, poly extrude, shift plus enter, and you will understand it that what I want to do. Let's just play with our front primitive right now. Okay, and I want to extrude this some sort of like this. Now you're gonna see what I mean to extrude it inwards. Okay, this should be fine, and we also extrude it like this, but in my real world kitchen it should be like this innerwards, this edge over here. Okay, let's just say I want negative 0.02 value, or maybe 125. Okay, this should be fine over here. And what I want to do, I will add another poly extrude node, or maybe this one over here. Let's just turn on this one. You're gonna see it should be fine. It will work on both sides. That's quite nice. Okay, so this should be fine. Next, what I want to do is just bevel our edges. Okay, or maybe first we add another poly extrude node over here, because you wanna see that our logo plate has been linked with our keychain body. So I want a space between them. Okay, we don't use a transform node over here, but we just decrease its distance some sort of like this. Okay, let's just control Z, and over here I will add another poly extrude node. Okay, So let's just say before this, tab and just say poly extrude, shift plus enter, and over here let's just like this. You're gonna see it should be fine, work for us. Okay, but let's just say I want 0.01 value, so we would just get some sort of only a small gap between them. Okay, it should be fine, quite nice, perfectly fine. Later if we need to do, we will adjust this one also, these cubes or joints, to move it a bit more upwards. Okay, next what I want to do, let's just bevel our geometry. Over here I would like to add a group node, and from here let's just select our edges. From here let's just name this one to logo plate edges, EDGES, but make sure that there is no space between them. If you add a space into our group node while adding your name, you're gonna see there is an error and this group will not work. Okay, so let's just, yeah, you're gonna add some sort of slashes, not minus but the slashes. Okay, but I prefer not to add any sort of slashes or the spaces. Okay, let's just select this one, shift this one, and from the other side also shift this one, shift this one over here. Perfectly fine. Okay, and I would like to press my enter key, and over here I will add a polybevel node, shift plus enter, and here I will select my, let's just logo plate edges, select this one. Okay, 0.01. You're gonna see what it has. Don't need too much softness over here, so let's just go 0.005 and see. Okay, so over here I will just add some sort of 7 edge loops. Okay, you're gonna see it will add it on both sides. It should be nice, perfectly fine for us. Yeah, and let's just add a node called null over here, and this is it for our logo plate. Gonna see it must be simple, and the details we actually add on our logo plate are quite nice. Okay, and over here I would like to press my P key to hide it. I would go to shapes, add this one, and just press the C key to add this color. We would like to name it our logo plate out. Okay, logo plate out, PLATE out, should be fine. And I want to adjust this value over here, this edge, to, you're gonna see this one. Okay, I pressed my P key and you're gonna see 125. Okay, it's this size, this one. Okay, so the inside one, let's just say 25, and you're gonna see it will adjust our values whenever we want actually. Okay, so I hope you will understand these things. Next, what I want to do, I will just plug this in into our merge node so that we can see everything over here. So like this. Okay, let's just do this again. Over here I will plug this in some sort of like this, and it should be fine. Spacebar H over here, and you're gonna see some sort of things like this. I can't see my sphere joint. Okay, we did not create it. So okay, let's just start creating our sphere joint. But let's just do one thing. I will grab all of them and press the L key to align them. That should be fine. And actually about our sphere joint, it must be simple, more simple than this logo plate. Okay, so over here what I do for our sphere joint, I will just press my tab key. I will add a sphere geometry, sphere polygon over here like this, and I will just decrease its size, turn on my template display flag on this our geometries, and I will just say decrease its size to maybe some sort of 4, or maybe I think it should be fine. 0.04 on both angles on all of the 3 dimensions. Here I would like to say add a transform node. I will here add some sort of more transform nodes, like 2 to 3 transform nodes. Okay, transform. Okay, why? Let's just say this one sphere X, and I will just duplicate this one for now. I would say sphere Y. Okay, like this, and I will just say duplicate this joint X parameter and copy this parameter and just paste it over here. Okay, that should be a nice thing on our x-axis. Make sure do this nicely like this. You're gonna see right now what it does. It will actually move our sphere in the center of our cube, our geometry. I want to move it upwards, so I will just copy this parameter maybe, or maybe this cube one. Let's just say this one parameter, y parameter. I will just copy its length parameter and paste it over here. So like this, I will paste the relative references over here, some sort of like this. Perfectly fine. Okay, space bar H over here, and let's just duplicate this parameter over here. I will cut this one over here and do this over here, some sort of like, and just delete this one because this one not working after our y-axis. So this should be fine. And what I want to do over here is just move it more upwards because we want to fit this sphere over here on our geometry. So what I do over here, I will just say on my sphere y, multiply this by 1.1, and you're gonna see it will move it upward some sort of like this. Perfectly fine. On the sphere I would say 16 rows, maybe 24 rows and 24 columns. That should also be fine. And over here what I want to do, maybe we want to move it more upwards, so like I would say 1 2 5, and you wanna see what it does. But we want 1 1, and you wanna see what it does over here, and 1 0 5, and it should be fine. Okay, so this is the idea you wrote over here. Next, let's just since we don't want to add any sort of bevels because this is already a sphere, so we don't need to bevel anything over here. And so let's just add a null over here, or maybe I would like to say we will just go with 1.1 value over here. That should be nice for me. And over here I will add a null. Double L, shift plus enter. We'll say our sphere sphere John out. Okay, it should be fine. Press the C key, hide my parameter tab window over here, color this one like this. Okay, so it should be fine. And this one over here, let's just plug them in over here, some sort of like this, and see our work over here. Spacebar H, and you wanna see. But after seeing it over here, I want to move it more upwards. Sphere. So let's just do this over here on the y-axis, and over here I will say 105, and it should be fine for us. Yeah, it looks nice. And let's just align them. Press the L key after grabbing all of them. Okay, next what we want to do, we want to model our metal cube. That should also be just a simple setup. Okay, so here I will just add a box node, or maybe cube node. both are simply the same nodes. Okay, just different names. And over here I will turn on my parameter tab window, spacebar H in our viewport, and over here I will say 0.05 or maybe just 0.5 value, 0.75. Okay, and let's just say on the z dimension we want 0.25. It should be fine, but let's just say on the z axis we want to paste a parameter over here, maybe this one, 126, or maybe 125, this first, the first one. Okay, let's just copy this one. You gonna must be know that we actually model or maybe extrude our kitchen body over here. Okay, that's the same actually size of our logo plate and should be our kitchen body. I paste our related references over here, some sort of like this, and you're gonna see what it does. Here I would like to add a reverse node, but before that let's just adjust this on our y dimension. So maybe 0.75, and let's just say we want 0.25 or maybe 0.1, 0.15, 0.2. Okay, this should be fine. And let's just add a reverse node over here, or EVERSE, shift plus enter, and it should be fine. And we want to move it upwards, so what we do, we add a transform node over here like this, shift plus enter. Okay, sorry. So over here I add a transform node, shift plus enter, we move it upwards. So I will just copy this y parameter over here, copy the parameter, paste the relative references over here, and like this, and you wanna see it will move it upwards, but we want to move it more upwards, so multiply this by 1.1. You wanna see it will move it upwards, so we want to move it in the center over here. So what we do, we will add another transform node, home node, shift plus enter. We would say metal cube x, METALCUBEX. Copy this name, paste over here, metal cube y, and over here I would like to say I want to use this value over here, copy this parameter, paste the relative references in the x direction over here, some sort of like this, and it will move it in the center over here. Nice thing, nice concept. And over here we want to add some sort of deviance like this, or maybe this. And over here what I want to do is just adjust its size on the x parameter, maybe like this, or maybe 0.625 works. I think it works for us. Okay, next thing what I want to do is I want to boolean our geometry. I want to make a hole over here. I want to make a square hole over here where we fit our leather strap. Okay, so here I will just duplicate all of these things over here, some sort of like this, and let's just turn on this template display over here, maybe like this, and I press the escape key. What I want to do is I will go with 0.4 value, or maybe 0. Let's just control Z 625525. Okay, and over here 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, let's just copy this parameter over here, parameter, paste relative references over here and divided this by 2, divided this by 3, okay, divided this by 1.2 and 1.25, okay, 3, 3 to 5 works, yeah, 3 to 5 works for us, nice, okay, let's just add more topology over here, 12 divisions, maybe 24 divisions, over, let's just say we want 16 tab, 16 tab, 16 divisions. And over here I will just say 1.25 or maybe 1.2, maybe 1.175, okay, it should be fine for now. And we want to adjust it on the Z plane, so divided this by 1.2, it should be fine. Let's see, or maybe 1.3, okay, 1.325, maybe 1.35 works, yeah, it works for us for now in this scenario. And I will add another transform node over here, okay, enter. And why I add a transform node over here, because we don't want to extract it from both sides on up and down, but we want to extract our geometry from the top over here. Press the enter key, and over here I will just copy the y parameter over here, some sort of like this, paste the relative references over here in the file, transform handles, control Z, delete channels, and paste relative references over here, some sort of like this. You're gonna see it should be fine, and to paste relative references of the x direction also. Copy parameter and paste over here, okay. So some sort of like this, it should be fine. And I want to boolean our geometry right now, so let's just say I will add a boolean over here, and I will just plug them in some sort of like this, and you're gonna see what it does. It will just boolean our geometry from here, okay, it will find, but but okay, boolean our geometry from both sides. So let's just add another transform node over here. I will just grab this from my tab menu, transform, make sure the spelling is correct over here, and I will just move our geometry up, so not over here but over here, okay, it should be fine. And I want to move our geometry up some sort of like this, okay, it should be a nice thing. Press the W key to see what it does. Nice thing. Let's just press the spacebar plus E key over here and go in the front view and see to do this some sort of correct things over here. like this, align them. Space bar B over here, space bar H over here, and I press the W key again to see this one. Nice thing. And here what I want to do, I will just turn off this template display. I press the escape key. Okay, maybe you will say that it will just not right thing, but over here let's just say maybe its size should be 2, or maybe control Z. Okay, 175. Okay, one, and it should be fine I think, for both of us. Nice thing. And let's just add some sort of bevel on the edges. Here I will add a group node. Shift plus enter. I would like to say metal cube bevel, bevel. Shift and enter. Over here we select our edges and we select them some sort of like this one. Shift, double click over here, double click over here, control to remove this one, double click over here, and it should be fine. Nice. I press the enter key, and over here let's just say metal cube out bevel. Out means outwards bevel, in means inward bevel. So we bevel that 2 times. So here I will add a bevel node. Shift plus enter. Over here we select our group that we created. Over here I would like to say 025, or maybe I press the W key. Wanna see that it will not wood. So over here I will say 0025, and you wanna see what it does. And from here, what we want 7 sort of divisions. Over here we press the W key to see that nothing goes wrong over here. Okay, it should be fine. Yes. Next, what I actually want to do, maybe we want more bevel or smoothness around our edges. So maybe it should be fine, and let's just create another group, or maybe I just copy the first one group and plug them in. I would say over here our inner bevel, I double and bevel. Okay, set my display flag over here. I would say control A 0, remove everything, select the edges over here, double click over here, and the double click you're gonna see not working, and I will just do this manually. I hold the shift plus A key, some sort of like this, and over here, 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 control Z, here. Actually, I want to sleep. I am feel so dizzy. So don't worry, should be fine. And over here, control Z, here. You're gonna see there is some sort of a small edge that has not been selected. Make sure that we has been selected over here. So I hold the shift key, then we press the A key, some sort of like this. Okay, so control Z like this, select every sort of edges. This one, this one, this one, this one. Spacebar H over here, and we go in this corner. Okay, nice thing. Actually, I record this class previously, but what I do, I will just make this cube with our line to do an experiment, and in that experiment our this one edges, these inner edges has not been varied, and I don't know why that sort of thing happening, but I got some errors. So I say that I will do this thing that I will use a box node that I do in my real render. Okay, so over here it should be fine. Space bar H, and I press the enter key. Over here I would like to say I will add a bevel node for bevel. I will select our inner bevel, and I would say just copy this parameter, our first parameter, paste the relative references over here, and I hope so that it will work. Okay, so some sort of like this, and you're gonna see it will fine. It will work for us. I will just copy the dimension, the variance parameter, and paste it over here. Don't know why that this sort of thing not work in our while we make this sort of our metal cube with our line node. So I don't know. So I think this should be fine for us as a beginner. Okay. So this thing should be fine. Nice thing. If you want to actually make same size on the both sides over here, what you will do, you will just adjust the y, I think z dimension over here. Okay, so 1375, I think in this direction. Yeah. Okay, but you do this thing before your bevel. Okay, I hope you will understand this sort of thing. Okay, so over here our metal cube has been ready, and over here what I do, I will just add a null, or maybe I just copy that one from here like this. Set my display tag over here. We name this one some sort of our metal cube out. It should be fine, and space. Okay, let's just align them like this. I will plug my metal cube over here, select all of them and align again, and we come up over here and see what it looks like. So you're gonna see that today we model our logo plate, our sphere joint, and should be our metal cube. That's a nice thing. And in our next lesson, that lesson will be the last lesson of our modeling. We will model our leather strap and our keys holder. This one, our leather strap and our keys holder. But I don't model our stitches. I don't know, we use some sort of warp context over there. So we don't worry about these things for now. Okay, these details for now. It should be fine that we model these sort of things on our own. Okay, so see you in our next lesson. Allah Hafiz.
In every vision, in every dream, a spark of creation begins unseen. Every artist starts with a single frame. Every legend once had no name. mastery. One step forward, one creation at a time. Mentor VFX. Every model has a beginning. Every journey starts today. VFX. Every model has a beginning. Create your future your own way. Design it, build it, shape it, bring it to life. The next great artist, the next great creator could be you. Every model has a beginning. Every master has a beginning. Begin yours with